Avoir.
Oh my God, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
I don't get to wear this out of the house. At least let me wear it here.
It's like, what is happening? And then there's Christmas lights in the back.
Okay, welcome back to another episode of FitPet Boston Talks. My name is Leah Lodato, and I am the host of the show. I wanted to say thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. It means the world to us that you have chosen to listen to the show. This is a little project that I'm super proud of and I love doing. Historically, I've gotten together with other local Boston area dog handling professionals and we have chatted about our lives, dogs, and careers on the podcast, which has been a really cool journey. I've met a lot of amazing people. And when I'm not doing that, and admittedly, those interviews are few and far between these days. But when I'm not doing that, my spouse Laurie and I sit down and talk over a variety of different dog training and handling topics, which is what we are going to do today. And today,
Leah's wearing her top hat.
Yeah, because Laurie won't let me wear it out of the house.
Where are you going to wear that?
It makes me feel like Polly from Peaky Blinders.
Oh, you're misguided.
Why? She's like the best character on that show.
All right, we'll watch her.
Okay, so I got this hat from the American Hat Company, and I got a big kind of sun/cowboy hat that I could wear outdoors because my dermatologist yelled at me because I have a lot of skin damage on my face. So last year I got a regular hat, a sun hat, but I have like a really small head, like a child-sized head. And so
small cranium.
Yes. And so on the website, they also had an extra small top hat and it's leather. And it's so cool. I wish everybody could see it, but Laurie's glad that
I took a picture so everybody can see it if you wish. If you wish.
So I'm doing it. I'm going to wear this because you won't let me wear it out of the house.
You can wear it. You know what? Wear it one day when you do all your dog walks.
That would draw attention.
It would.
Yes.
You better have well-behaved dogs. And you'd be like, there's that lady with the top hat. Leather top hat. Wear that in the sun.
Oh, it'd be so hot. It's already getting a little hot.
Yeah. It's just like, we have enough hot air in this house.
Oh, it's great. And it's like too nice to be a prop. You know how they have like the chorus line girls in a chorus line, they wear top hats. Those are all chintzy. They're like cheap felt hats, but this is the real deal.
That's the next adventure for Leah.
Yeah.
The chorus line.
Oh my God, I could never dance on stage. 2 left feet.
No.
2 left feet.
They want to see somebody fall. That would be me.
I sat through quite a few musicals in my day. I used to play in the pit orchestra for musicals. Did you know that about me?
I don't think I did.
Yeah. So I used to, because I play upright bass, and those are hard to come by. So people used to call me and hire me to do these high school musicals or community theater musicals or whatever. So I would be in the pit orchestra, and I sat through a lot of different musicals.
You could wear your hat there.
Maybe. I might draw attention. You don't want to typically draw attention to yourself in the pit. You want to be heard but not seen.
Well, that's really something.
Yeah, it was. Anyway,
today,
here we are. It is a Monday evening. It's been a long day for both of us, but we had a couple of minutes, and I figured it might be a cool thing to do to recap one of Laurie's recent endeavors. And yeah, so what have you been up to, Laurie? Where'd you go? What'd you do? Who'd you do it with?
I went to Bosworth, Connecticut for the dog training for film and TV by Joel Silverman. And I had a blast. I went with Melissa, Colton, and Margarita, and I went with Buddha. It was hosted by Megan, I hope I don't say her last name wrong, Petrasek. She owns Dogs by the Dozen. She works with her husband, Christopher Stone. She was the best host ever. Her facility is so beautiful, so clean. She's such a cool person. She probably doesn't know how much I actually liked her.
She will now. She listens to the podcast.
But I liked her a lot. I just thought she was so down to earth. I love her dogs. She has 2 Great Danes, Fate and Big Ben. I loved the whole vibe of the place, and we were fortunate enough to have really nice women in our seminar, really nice dogs. There was only, what I was surprised about was, because Melissa mentioned it to me. Oh yeah, did you see the email? And Joel didn't blind copy anyone, so we were all listed there.
No, because he's old.
I didn't even look. She's like, oh yeah, there's only, let
Everybody's
me see,
name
1,
was
2,
on there.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of us. That's it. I thought it was gonna be more people. Nope. We got there. We got to work our dogs over and over again throughout the day. We got tons of reps in, tons of exercises. Joel is really nice to work with.
I'm sorry, did you say what the name of the seminar was? What you guys were doing?
I thought I did dog training for film and TV.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Over there in Bozeman, Connecticut, Dogs by the Dozen. Megan owns it. Yep. And like I said, there was only 9 of us. And I was surprised by that because I didn't bother even. I read the email, but I didn't look at anyone else's name on there. I do recommend it for other trainers. I think it's cool. I would love to get Buddha in a commercial, or I mean, how cool would that be?
Totally.
And some of the stuff is just stationary work. Anyway, I'm going ahead of myself. I think that if you do go to this seminar, I think, and I didn't know Joel from a hole in the wall. Everyone else, I feel like you knew him. Melissa knows him because you went to the seminar with Larry, J. Jack, and Joel. And I had never been to that seminar. I don't know J. Jack well. I know Larry because he's always on Facebook talking about something. Joel, I didn't know. So what else? Your dog has to have a good, I think that for you to feel comfortable, your dog has to have really good basic obedience before you go.
Mm-hmm.
So keep that in mind if you are deciding to go to this seminar. You'll be able to move along a little bit faster. All the ladies there with their dogs had very good obedience on their dogs already. It really helps when you're sending the dog off to somebody. If you're working on retrieves, like say a dog picks up a pen and brings it to the person, it is a lot of distance work with your dogs. So obviously in the beginning, throughout the seminar, we try to get further and further away from our dogs to direct them to do certain things. So that was a lot. Buddha has enough obedience where working from far away was just fine. And I feel like we progressed quickly. We did like a few more tricks. So the stuff we're working on and all of it is from a distance. You need to get your sits, your lie downs, your stand, the dog to look when you say it, holding behaviors, not jumping out of those behaviors. One of my things with Buddha was I had to really learn to slow him down, because when you send him off to someone, he's more than happy to just race right into you and knock you over, which wouldn't be acceptable if you were on a commercial or a film. So slowing him down was probably my biggest thing. We added a few more tricks to his repertoire, head down, head up. Like the dog can not only has to do the behavior, but slowly rise out of the behavior and not stand up. So if the dog's head is flat, you can't really say, all done. The dog jumps out of it. No.
Right.
Because you're still in the quote unquote scene or whatever. So he learned, lay on your side, which is play dead pretty much. On your side, it's pretty much play dead. And then to rise up from that. The cutest thing was a dog creeping up on you, walking really slow, and then one of the dogs peeking around the corner. It's so cute to see that. All the dogs did so well. On your side, slow walking, distance commands, retrievals, retrieving something and bringing it to another person. A lot of sending your dog to another person. So if you go to the seminar, you will most likely be paired up with somebody, or Melissa and I switched off with our quote unquote second trainer all the time. So if you send the dog off to somebody or in the distance, or the other trainer calls your dog from a scene, you're going to be working with somebody else. So just know that going in, if you're weird about your dog working with other people.
Yeah.
If they do,
great piece of advice.
Yeah. If they do this, you're going to get to know the people there really well. and their dogs. And Melissa and I didn't want to keep working with one another because our dogs knew us so well. We wanted to know if they would do the behaviors with another person.
Right.
And everyone was super cool, and we traded out here and there. But also know when you're working with another trainer, they have their ways that they were doing things. So we just worked together. I mean, some of those were, I think the biggest thing when we were working with other people was food delivery, treat delivery. Sometimes when the way they would feed the dog would kind of come out of the behavior, or they would almost be luring them out of the position. And we just all talked about it. We would just say, oh, hey, can you try this? Hey, can you try that? Because Melissa and I aren't shy. So I thought it was really nice how everyone was pretty receptive, and we were all good dog handlers, and we worked well. So just know that your dog should have a good base of obedience if you choose this. I really think it'll make your life a bit easier, and you will be working with another person.
Yeah, that's good advice. I think having a really social dog that was the biggest takeaway after you came home and started talking about all the different things that you were doing. Just having a really environmentally sound dog that can handle different people, different environmental stimulation. Obviously, like on a commercial or a movie set, like there's just a lot of different stuff going on that, your dogs aren't exposed to. And yeah, because if you think about it just logistically, when you're watching a commercial, whoever's interacting with a dog isn't their trainer or handler.
Right.
And for some weird reason, I had just never thought about that before.
I know, if you
watching a movie or something like that.
Start looking at commercials, because we would go back at night to the hotels, commercial would come on and there would be a dog. I'm like, look at this stuff. I was like, the dog isn't even looking at the person. They're looking through the person to the trainer behind behind the camera.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So you'll see the dog with their head flat on the ground. Oh, why is it important to have your dog's head flat? So their head's flat on the ground. Oh, they hear something, head up. They can't stand up, head up. And then you tell them stand, and then they stand up, and then go to, and then they run to the door to go greet their person that comes home from work, right? That's how many commercials are like that.
Right.
Or a fast recall. Or what about, like the Rottweiler or the Shepherd, when somebody comes through the door, the dog, puts his head up, and then he stands, and then he does a hard stare at the person walking in, and then maybe he growls. Maybe you have a speak command or attack command or whatever for that particular scene. Dogs crawling, singing, just everything. They do every trick. I loved it. It's a long day, by the way. So giddy up. It's like 9 to 4 o'clock.
And it was 5 days.
Yeah, and I loved every bit of it. And I would do it over and over again, and I was so sad to leave.
Yeah, I was just happy that you got out of here and took a little mini vacation.
It was honestly, I said it to you before, I'm like, it was my utopia. I just got out of my everyday, and I got to, as people think we play with dogs all day, I got to play with my dog all day.
It's awesome.
And Joel has a really nice way about him that you don't feel, there's no stress. There's no pressure. It's not, so many times I'll be working on obedience with Buddha, not here, but if we're in a facility, and I can feel myself getting frustrated. I don't know if it's because, you're doing the same stuff over and over again, and it kind of fries my brain. And I get much more joy out of doing tricks and taking pictures. That's really the stuff that's been driving me lately. And I don't know if it's because I've been doing this for so long, but to just hang out with a bunch of nice people and be with my dog 8 to 4 and just practice and see such progress in such a short amount of time. Don't get me wrong, guys. The dogs were fried by Friday. Mm-hmm. You could see them. We all had our crates, but a lot of the times our dogs were all out and on their bed. And like I said, great dogs. All the dogs are on their bed while the other dogs are having their turn at whatever behavior they would like to do. Joel has a very, his attitude is all about setting expectations, and and allowing your dog to fail so they can succeed. He would say that over and over again. I could see the wheels turning in Buddha's head. You know, it may have looked really sloppy on the first one, especially when you tell him to go to somebody and it has to be slow. You could just see it clicking in his head when he started to do this slow walk towards them, which is so funny to me. Or when he would retrieve something. So I had this super ugly little Easter basket thing that I got at CVS one night. And I got it because it was kind of like a stuffed animal, and Buddha loses his mind with stuffed animals. So I was like, if he can hold this and calmly bring it to somebody, I feel like I won because he's focused. But, oh, and that's another thing. If you go to the seminar and you want to practice your dog retrieving something and bringing it to somebody, pack that stuff. I don't know what you want it to be. Maybe you just want your dog to pick up keys. Great. Bring the keys. Maybe you want them, like me, to pick up a basket or a purse. Megan had, I don't know which one, if Fate or Big Ben, she had her dog carry a leather purse to somebody else. Anything. Bring your items.
Cool.
Have in your mind what things you would like to work on. Have decent obedience. Bring a crate, a travel crate, so that your dog can rest in there when need be. You know, just like you're going to a competition. Make sure your dog is comfortable, has a crate, and has water. Like I said, Megan was so awesome. Her facility is so clean, so big, so brand new. She had everything we needed, and it was just great. It's a really great experience.
That's awesome, because I know that Joel doesn't do those week-long seminars very frequently, but he always comes to Boston with the other two guys, I believe in June every year, and covers, I think, a lot of the same type of stuff. Obviously, it's not as long of a seminar, and there's 3 of them, so everybody that's doing working spots, the time is getting split up, but, you know, having that introduction to him, because that's how Melissa got interested in working in that way, because she worked with him. And she would be here to tell you all of that herself, but she bailed on us last week.
Well, and then I mean,
it was like the day after you came back from the seminar, and she was all gung ho, like, "Yes, we need to do a podcast. Yeah. It was so awesome. I want to talk about it." I'm like, "Okay, you can come over." And then she's like, "I'm tired."
My head was full. I had all these things in my head and all these ideas in my head, and what was I going to do with Buddha next, and how was it going to go? And I still do. I've been practicing every day because I am going to see Joel again. Well, they're coming to Boston, but it's debatable. It's Boxborough. It's the Flintstone Hotel. Oh, Boxborough Regency. There's just like a big rock structure in there. It's such a. I've competed there a lot.
Yeah, the carpets are very.
It's a little
weird.
rough.
They're like psychedelic carpets.
We'd be competing, and they have buckets collecting water.
From the ceiling?
Yes.
Oh, good times.
Just so you know, like, what a competition environment is, your dog's going to walk around like a ceiling that's leaking, and there are buckets on the floor, and maybe wet floors.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Woof.
So I'm going to see him again, so I want to make sure that I can show him, hey, look at this. We've been practicing.
Yeah, June's right around the corner.
Yeah, let's do it. So I've been practicing, me and my little Easter basket. I've had some of my parents at the end of a training session, I'll be like, hey, you want to help me practice something real quick? And I'll practice with Buddha, him retrieving and bringing it to them.
Yeah, that's great. Strangers.
I want to mention some of the dogs that were there. So we had Megan, of course, with her 2 Great Danes who were so willing to work. They were great, Fate and Big Ben. Then we had Sarah with the Samoyed, who was a hoot, and his name was Caspian. He had a strut. You weren't going to tell Caspian what to do?
No.
He is a strut.
Mind of his own?
Well, he listened to his mom, but he was like, oh, my God, again. You know, that's how I feel like his personality was. Leslie with Litza, a black lab. She's awesome. I loved everything about her. She had good work and drive. She's sweet as pie. She's a therapy dog.
You're talking about the dog, yeah.
But Leslie was really nice, too. No, Leslie's super nice. And I got her breeder's name. And then, of course, Melissa, Colton, Margarita, and Caitlin with Luna. And she had a Mal Border Collie mix, not on purpose. Awesome dog. Jet black. Super smart. Super toy driven. I got to tell you guys, we didn't use toys too much in the seminar. towards the end when I was working with Caitlin, we did take a tennis ball out. And the dog went from 0 to 100. She was ready to work again.
Yeah,
so,
I think that's the thing with toys, They create more drive, and in a lot of these situations, you want the dog to just be a little bit more
of control
and relaxed.
Yeah. So, it worked to wake her up, but I can't tell you we used toys a lot in the seminar. As a matter of fact, in between when we had breaks at lunch break, I would run around the room with Buddha and play tug.
Yeah.
To just let him get out. How much can Buddha move slowly? Yeah. Right? So I was like, all right, buddy, let's get it out of our system. And I'm like, am I messing myself up? Because if I'm doing a recall again or I have to send him off slow, and I had just been partying with him in the room, but I was like, he needs to decompress.
Yeah, totally.
And we were just walking around the hotel. But like I said, the dogs were fried, but there still wasn't. There are nearby fields at her place, but I didn't go to them because a lot of the dogs were Xing out there and I didn't want to have any issues.
Yeah.
And then Lisa with a Malinois named Garmer, who honestly, he made a lot of progress during that week. He's a 7-month-old Malinois. And, on the first day, he didn't really want to settle. But I got to tell you, by the end, that dog was passed out on his cot, which doesn't seem like a big thing, but for Garmer, it was.
Well, at 7 months, if I had tried to take Raven there at 7 months, we would have gotten kicked out in about an hour.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
That's great.
And, as I said, hopefully your dog's used to being crated, is quiet, because every day started with a lecture, about a 1-hour lecture. And then on the 5th day, we just started in right on tricks. Is that everything? I think that's everything.
Well, that's awesome. I feel like that's a great testament to something totally different than the normal seminar circuit. Normally with seminars, we're dealing with behavior modification and aggression and leash reactivity and
and I'm over
obedience training and stuff like that. And it's just great to do something completely different. But obviously, it still requires a huge skill set, right? Because you see these dogs in commercials and movies, and it takes a lot to get them there. So next steps, Laurie. Any goals?
For right now,
you don't have to say them out loud.
Well, no. For now, I obviously we all have another project that we're working on that hopefully will be done in June. So I have that on my mind, and I've been preparing for that. Like I said, of course, I would love to see Buddha on TV. That would be awesome. So if that's a goal of mine, I'm going to have to work on that. What else? So far, it's just that project we're all working on, and me making sure I practice so that when I go and see Joel again, I can be like, check this out, man. Look at how many more tricks I have under my belt.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
I'd like to do that just because it's nice to be the student every once in a while. Like I get how to get the behaviors. Do you know what I'm saying? I can build behaviors. Buddha has really great obedience. But it's just nice to chain those events together. Another thing that I noticed too about Joel is a lot of the times when you used a clicker, he actually said something interesting to me. So I was working on a behavior, and guys, I can't help but click to mark and finish a behavior. So I don't necessarily need the clicker. I'll be like, and I'll just mark it. So with him, he says yes. And that's fine and all, but he's like, so what do you use as your... He was talking to me, and Melissa from the back, she uses a clicker. And then he said, you use a clicker? And I said, yes. And he said, oh. He said, but you're a good trainer.
Dun, dun, dun.
He said, I've never met a clicker trainer who's a good trainer.
Laurie, you can't say that.
That's what he said.
What if someone listens to this and they worked with him and they're a clicker trainer?
Well, I said to him, I'm really sorry you feel that way. So now maybe he won't feel that way.
Yeah.
He said that. He goes, normally, he did say something along those lines of, oh, I've never met a good trainer who uses a clicker.
Yeah, maybe there's just a stigma.
But mind you,
clicker trainers.
Right, because a lot of the time,
that's what it is.
Yeah, clicker trainers are usually all positive.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is, And I realize I'm making a general statement. Don't get crazy.
All right. I'm calm.
All positive is associated with the clicker.
It is.
Karen Pryor.
Heavily.
I mean, Karen Pryor talks about positive reinforcement and things like that.
That's all she talks about, really.
Rest in peace also to Karen Pryor. But it's associated with all positive training. And as we know, there should be, there's 4 quadrants in learning. And some of that requires, some of those things are correction. Anyway, so I said to Joel, I'm really sorry about that. It's simply a marker.
Yeah.
And I said, I use it as a finisher too.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, see, that's why the dog is popping up. So I was like, all right, okay, I hear you there. And I have to say that since I've been at the seminar, I have been like calming down on the all done. Mm-hmm. I kind of let the dog rest in behaviors more and go for a slow finish. I'll definitely do an intermittent when the dog is down. Good. I'll feed the dog more in the behaviors to keep them there, to calm them down, to stay steady. And I've done that before, but it hasn't been so in my face that the dog can't be jumping out of behaviors as it was when I went to the seminar.
Right.
Because, you tell Buddha, boom, 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 everything's like explosive.
Oh, yeah. When Raven hears the clicker, she like practically jumps to the ceiling.
Right. So
yeah.
I'd say that's more present in my head too, just not to have this really, a dog busting out of a behavior so quickly. But he's a totally cool guy. So nice to hang out with. He's all right.
Yeah, good. That's awesome. You were very happy.
I know. I'm so happy.
Home.
And I don't know if it's lame that I'm just like so tired of the same old, like, my heart hasn't really been into going to obedience class.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need a break. Like, I've already done it with Buddha. Am I done? I don't know. I like fun stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a season for everything. I think it's really cool. The seminar popped up at the time that it did, and it was like perfect timing where you could actually leave for the week, because that's not easy for us to pull off.
No, you covered for me, so thank you.
Yeah, a lot of responsibility on little old Leo over here. I held it down.
You did. You held it down.
Mm-hmm. My mother-in-law thought I was dying. I'm like, I'm fine.
I know. I call. You said I'm fine. I called Ma. Oh my God, Leah, she's working herself to the bone. I was like, what's going on? Oh, Laurie, she's been going all day. I felt terrible because I'm over here like, I'm having so much fun with my dog, and then I go home to a hotel and the day ends. What? The fact that the day ended is amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's like vacation.
It was vacation with Buddha.
That's awesome. I was so happy.
So thank you for holding down the fort, Leah, even though you were running around all day.
Heck yeah. Maybe one day you'll be on a movie set and you'll have to leave me again.
Can you imagine?
That'd be amazing.
Big Boo.
Big Boo in the movies. You never know.
In lights.
You got to put it out there to the universe and see what happens.
I am putting it out there. I know that every time you go to a seminar, right, we all get pumped. Anytime a dog trainer goes to a seminar, they're like, yes, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it's like church camp.
Church camp. A lot of things happen at church camp. I won't go into that.
I
won't go. I feel like if you're a girl and you go to church camp, you come home gay. I don't know what's going on.
I've said something so off the cuff in group class the other day. So I forget who I was working with, but Joey.
Oh, I love
and
Leslie.
Yeah, and so Leslie, I said, okay, ask him to sit and wait, and we were just doing recalls across the room like you would do in a CD, and she told him to wait, and then she's walking backwards and looking at him, making sure that he's going to wait.
Instead of turning the back. If you turn your back, they run.
Yeah. So I said, okay, let's do that again. But this time you're going to believe in Jesus and you're just going to walk away from him. And everybody started laughing. And I didn't know. I don't even know why I said it. It was like just the most random thing that I've ever said. And everybody thought that was the funniest thing.
Believe in Jesus.
Like, believe in Jesus. Just walk down to the end of the ring. Actually, that's a common theme in our class because we've had a lot of the same people coming to group class, which is incredible and just proves how much desire there is in certain individuals to get better week to week. And I would say the biggest problem is that, especially in the group class setting, the handler hasn't gotten to the point where they really trust their dog. And there was one point where there was an owner and the dog, and they were like playing, and right when the dog would come back and out the toy, like the owner was like trying to grab the leash. And I was like, do me a favor, let's do that retrieve again. And this time you're going to pick up the toy. You're not even going to look at the dog and just walk across the room. And you could tell like she was really nervous because she didn't want her dog to go run up to anybody else in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, it's fine. I'll be right here. If the dog runs off, I'll step on the leash or whatever. And so she did it. And the dog was just like walking in the most perfect heel, Izzy and her mom, that you've ever seen. With no leash. So like she just picked up the toy, she just started walking like a boss, and the dog was like glued to her, you know?
That's awesome.
And I was like, see, you have to trust her. She wants to be with you. She's really engaged, and she's into what you're doing, and she loves to play, and she wants to be with you. And that's just been a nice thing to witness in group classes, just those little moments where you see the dog like really in tune with the handler. And yeah, it's tough in group class because it's it's an aquarium setting, and I like to do a lot of work with dogs outside. That's my jam. I love being, that, but I love being outside and working in contacts. But we can get a lot done in those group classes. It's really cool.
Leah's been covering group classes for me. Some of my new dogs are attending too, and that's nice too. I was thinking about when you were talking about having a nice relationship with the dog and all. I've had a lot of new people lately, and you're always going to have an easier time when a dog comes out of the car and right away they're hitting the end of the leash and just looking everywhere but with their owner. I'm like, oh boy. But then sometimes you see a dog come out and you can tell that they have hearts in their eyes for their owner. You can see the owner really loves them. So when you have already, you can look at the owner and dog and be like, oh, they really do like each other. I mean, yeah, they got to polish some stuff up and the dog is slightly distracted, but you're like, okay, they have a good relationship already. This is going to go a little bit more, this is going to be a bit smoother.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's something that you can develop. It's not like you have it or you don't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, that's part of our job is to make the dog like the human a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Care about them more, mind them more. I was with puppies all day today shopping. It was great. That's a good day, hanging out with them.
Yeah, Monday is puppy day for Laurie.
I had Bodie the Burner. I had Sage the Black Lab. Stella Florence, the Bernedoodle.
Yeah, Sage is a really cool dog. She's a black lab, and her owners have another black lab named Olive, who is basically like my dog because I see her every single day and go hiking with her, and she's just my girl. I love this dog. And I was able to do a lesson with him and his two dogs on Friday, and we got through, and he was like, this was really awesome. Because before he was walking both of the dogs on the leash in the woods. And I was just like, dude, you don't have to do that. Like, these dogs are trained. Like, we just need to go out together and I'll show you how I work with them and like how we deal with distractions and everything else. And he was floored. We had a great time. And his dogs are great.
A thank you coming from this fella too. It's a big deal.
Means a lot.
It's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. It means a lot.
And then Knox the Lab. I don't want to leave him out just because he's part of the group.
Yep.
And then I just stuffed my little Buddha bus, my little wagon, my Toyota Sienna.
Stuff full of dogs headed to the shop.
Had all the crates in there.
You're making everybody smile.
Love that van. Yep. I have one of the stores always let me walk in there with the dogs.
Yeah, they love you. The paper source.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are me ladies. They see me. Mm-hmm. Yep. Come on in.
It's great.
The dogs are on point.
You buy a lot of stuff from the paper source.
I like to,
you're a good customer.
When did greeting cards turn like $10?
Oh my God, I know.
Now I know, man, I sound more and more like my parents. Honest to God. I'm like, $10 for a greeting card? People throw these away.
Mm-hmm.
It is very rare you meet a person that saves. What's the etiquette? How long do you keep a greeting card before you can throw it away without guilt? And God forbid the person comes over the house. Do they want to see it sitting on the shelf? Like, what do I do?
I know. I know. I usually hold on to the birthday cards you give me for Valentine's for like a month or two.
You throw away my cards?
Well, I leave it on my nightstand.
See what I'm saying?
I don't throw them away. They're in my nightstand.
What if I die?
I'll have them.
Well, not the ones you threw away.
I haven't thrown any of them away.
Well, you just said you threw them away after a month.
No, I said I don't have them out anymore after a month.
And you get cards. It's going to be from the 50-cent section.
There is no such thing.
The $1. It'll be the $1 section. Be like, here you go. You know what? Actually, I'll just take some printer paper. And I'll be like, hey, happy birthday.
Well, how does that work when like you want to get a card for a kid or a teenager or something and the card is like as much as what you wanted to spend on the gift?
I mean, there are some pricey cards out there.
Mm-hmm.
Then who are you going to be? The cheap aunt.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to be.
No. I am not the cheap aunt.
That's what's happening. We need to think about this. How long do you hang on the greeting card? I got to tell you, somebody throws them out. What about the holiday cards?
Oh, those go.
Oh, people spend so much money on them.
I know, but...
And everyone throws them away.
Yeah, but we enjoy them. We enjoy them for a month, and then, yes, they get thrown away. They do.
Get thrown away. I was saving them because I felt guilty. I threw them all away.
But yeah, I mean, we'd have bookshelves full of cards if we saved all of them every year.
What about the ones that say the whole life story? Oh, my God. Little Mikey graduated. He's in here. Oh,
This year on our trip to Prague, we visited.
Stella is showing such progress in her reading program.
Poor Johnny got sick on the plane, and we were fresh out of Dramamine.
Isabella started horseback riding lessons. Oh, my God. No, but no one even wants to know that. But if they have a dog, somebody gives me a card without a dog in it, I'm like, why are we doing this?
Or if it's a bad photo of the dog.
Oh.
Don't send us the card.
Please don't.
You're going to save me a headache.
Call me.
If it's a good, full portrait, nice photo of the dog, feel free.
Call me for the family portrait.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't send me a card where your dog is in 8,000 group pictures looking and smiling right at the camera. Don't give me the one where you can see the ear. Why are we doing that?
Yeah.
Anywho, I'm sorry. We just went off.
Had a little
tangent. Now that I know Leah throws away my cards.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm going to die and you're going to be sorry.
This hat's getting hot on my head.
It is.
I'm glad that we recapped the seminar with Joel, and I am stoked for you to go to the seminar in June with Larry and Jay as well. I went to that like maybe 4 years ago. Really good time. Learned
my first time.
Met a bunch of people, so I'm sure you will have a blast.
Mm-hmm.
Always a good time to learn. Anything coming up for you, like competition-wise or?
Nope. Just be practicing on my own and working on my stuff.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Heading into the spring.
Yep, that's you. That's you, hon. You're going to be doing the competitions.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to be on the competition circuit. So this weekend, Raven and I have a competition. Have not been in the ring for a while. Took a little bit of a breaky break, which was really good. Worked on some stuff and just gave her a little bit of time to mature. She's still a pretty young dog, and I am in no rush to work on this stuff, but we're going to go do some rally, do some obedience, just kind of dust off the rust, so to speak. And then Frisbee's starting up too next month, which is super exciting.
Ooh-wee.
If you are a Frisbee person, be on the lookout. We have some announcements to make about different stuff going on with our club this year. And anything else I want to say about that? No, because we have not made a formal announcement to our team yet, but we will. And all will be public on April 7th. So again, if you are into playing disc with your dog, probably going to be some cool opportunities in the Metro West Boston area heading into 2025, which I'm super duper excited about.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I think that's about it. For stuff that is going on, soon to be going on. Hopefully you'll hear from us next week again after we make that announcement about different stuff going on with Frisbee, because I'm super excited about that this year. That's been like my big planning. I don't know what you want to call it. Job.
It's a new project.
It's a new project. It's a new thing.
It's a new project.
Yeah.
Leah loves Frisbee.
Has not been without some snafus, but that's okay.
That's part of the process. You got to fail to succeed.
Yeah, that's how it is when you start something new. You know, there's going to be stuff that comes along the way. You don't know what's going on. So that's what's up. And yeah, hopefully next week we'll have an announcement to make about that. Keep everybody informed. But again, thank you so much for listening. Really, really appreciate it. And if you would be so kind, feel free to like, subscribe, and share the podcast on whatever platform you are listening on. Have a great day, and you will hear from us soon.
Thank you.